It's Abel Frost with First Tide here. This is my kayak. It's a 2017 Hobie Outback. Today I'm going to be walking you all through all the gear, how I have it rigged, why I have it rigged, and just show you an overview of what I use every day when I'm fishing. Let's start things off going tip to butt, just like the Navy. Up here on the bow, we've got a carry handle. It's pretty basic. This hull is absolutely beat up. I neglect my hull a lot. I drag it over oysters, bump it up against pilings, rocks, you name it. So if you see a bunch of scratches along here, we're not even gonna look at the bottom. The bottom's horrible. I do have a anchor trolley system. I've never actually used it. However, I know they can be useful. Moving down the bow, if I'm gonna be keeping fish, I carry this Buffalo Gear kill bag. And I love this. Super easy access. Boom, throw your fish in there, close it back up, good to go. But a lot of the times, I don't even bring that out. Let's get into this hull, what I have in here. So, in here, I keep it very basic. I don't have a lot of stuff in here, just a battery box. There's a 12 volt, 10 amp battery, lithium battery in here. I have the quick disconnect that allows me to just unplug it, take the battery into the garage and charge it. I also keep a emergency manual bilge pump. Since these kayaks, you're basically floating on the shell of the hull. If my kayak were to ever like spring a leak or take on a bunch of water or anything and I needed to bail myself out, I can do it very easily and very quickly with that. I believe this is 50 gallons a minute just with your hands. So that could be a lifesaver. Luckily, I've never had to use it, but better to have it and never need it than to need it and never have it. Sometimes I'll also put my shoes, my stringer up in here, as well as like maybe any extra water or food or you name it. This is just an extra storage area. Here, we've got a accessory rail. I put this on. Originally I had my depth finder up there, but I decided to move it back. That way I can easily hit buttons, switch which screen I'm on, etc. But in this area, this is where my pedal drive goes. Let me show you. This is a Turbo XD pedal drive. It is forward only, no reverse. There's certain times that it would be nice to have reverse, but I can do just fine only being able to go forward. And if I do need to go backward, I could take a stroke with my paddle or my net. Moving down from the pedal drive, I've got a forward rod holder here, forward rod holder here, a little storage pouch here, and a storage pouch here. In this one, I keep my leader as well as scissors and usually my pliers. Pliers I keep tethered to the boat just in case I drop them or anything. The leaders that I keep up here are 25 pound and 10 pound. These are high use items, stuff that if I'm retying, I want to have easy access to it, and I use it quite frequently. Moving back a little bit farther, I've got my Lowrance Hook 4 depth finder. This is an older model. It's pretty beat up, probably needs to be replaced, as well as the transducer. The transducer's, it's given me some weird readings, but you know, it tells me how deep I am, and that's all I really need to know. On this side, small cup holder, carry handles, bigger cup holder on this side. I usually have my water bottle in there. This general area I call the cockpit. Here I've got a storage hatch. This opens up like so, and you can see down into the hull. Now, one thing I did, I usually put my keys, my wallet, my phone when I'm beach launching, all in this box. Sometimes I get a little bit of water in my hull from taking on waves or washing it off. So I put this waterproof box in there. That way everything in this box stays dry. Emergency items that I keep are a Leatherman, zip ties, and some flex tape. So this box used to just bounce around inside my hull and it'd slide all the way to the back or all the way to the front, and I'd have to find it. So a simple thing that I did is I drilled a hole and I zip tied it to the hatch. That way when I open this up, it always comes up on the hatch and I don't have to look for it. Now, some more stuff that I keep up here. I keep a bag of all my soft plastics. You can see I am a huge Z-Man fan. It's basically all I use, unless I can't find something that I'm looking for. I just love their durability. I love how much I can fish them and not have to change them out because they're broken or ripped or torn or you name it. These are super durable soft plastics. I also keep a tackle box with all of my jig heads, bucktails, some high use stuff that I normally throw, top waters, little like divers, or you know, you have it. One thing I like about these Plano boxes is since I fish in saltwater, everything rusts. However, these are sealed and they're pretty darn watertight. So I leave all my stuff in there and it prevents a little bit of rust. But again, I keep both those items right under my seat. I love this seat. The seats in these Hobies are so comfy. I've got two positions. I can do upright like this or reclined. That makes it a little bit easier if I'm traveling long distances or I want to be more stable in rough water. I can adjust the back support forward or backwards using this lever. I also have lumbar support tension right here. I keep it pretty darn tight. Now, this is my life jacket. This is just a basic minimalistic PFD from Bass Pro Shops. All I have to do is pull that yellow cord and I've got a buoyancy vest. I'm basically always wearing this unless I'm in less than 3 foot of water. Even in 3 foot of water on rough days, I wear it. Moving back to this area, usually I'll keep a little ammo can back here that has some of my camera equipment in it. And then another thing that I carry is a water bottle. If you're a kayak fisherman and you have a kayak that is capable of being stood up on and fishing while you're standing up, there's certain conditions where you can't stand up to fish or go pee. So, yeah. Anyways, moving back, I've got one rod holder here, one rod holder here. This is a Hobie H crate. I did not go out and buy this. This came with the kayak. Quite frankly, I would never spend the money that these Hobie crates cost. A milk crate would work absolutely fine. And you can see I've done a couple of things, zip tied on some extra rod holders. This rod holder is actually for my fly rod. I cut out a little toggle that lets me lock it into place when I am bringing the fly out. And on this, I basically keep a emergency knife if I need to kill fish or cut myself free, you name it. I've got a little knife. I also keep my lip grippers in case I run into those big toothy bluefish, or one of these days I finally catch my bull red drum. I can grab onto his face with that and keep a good hold on him. Inside this crate, I've got just random junk in this little bin that I zip tied to the top. I got some heavier 40-pound leader, a rag, an emergency screwdriver, emergency signaling device, as well as some random jig heads, steel leaders, you name it. Also keep my terminal tackle box. This is less frequently used, but I like to have it in case I get some good live bait that I want to fish or want to throw. I've got some bigger top waters in there, jigs, sting silvers, you name it. Also keep my measuring board. I marked my measuring board with some different regulations for the saltwater fish that I would keep here in Virginia. Now, if you do this, it's important to check local regulations. They tend to change a lot, especially with flounder. Won't get into that. I also keep bug spray, a little quick ratchet strap, and some sunscreen. I need to start using this more. Moving back to the stern, I've got an additional storage hatch. Now inside of here, I keep absolutely nothing. You can see I got some water in my hull right now. That's from when I washed this thing out earlier. Hobie does include a extra rudder pin, which is good to know because I have heard that these pins can fall out sometimes. So if it ever does and you have a Hobie, check your rear hatch. Now back here, I've got another carrying handle. I have a drain plug and I have my rudder. This is a sailing rudder. It's a little bit beefier than what normally comes on your Hobie Outbacks. And just recently, I switched out my right and left steering cables. They were kind of this beefy wax string, but I had one snap, so I switched them both to steel. And since doing that, I've noticed a little bit of wear on the plastic guides for the cables. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that, and if these cables are wearing down too much on the kayak, then I might have to do some modifications here. But this rudder is absolutely awesome. Lets me turn really tight. It always stays true, meaning that it's not affected by current or water movement. If I point in a direction, it stays there. Okay, on the left side of my kayak, I keep a paddle. I will never go out without 2 forms of propulsion. Form 1, pedal drive. Form 2, paddle. And if need be, form 3, my net. Additionally, on my paddle, I have a lanyard. I do not want my backup propulsion to depart from my boat, so I keep it tied to the boat at all times. This is my steering handle. Pretty basic. I got bored one night, ADHD kicked in, and I made this little custom knob from an old axe handle that I had. I don't know, I like it. It kind of gives it a personal vibe. I bought this Wilderness Systems beach wheel cart, and this will allow me to launch from beaches rather than dragging or carrying my kayak. I highly recommend it. It was worth every penny. I think this thing costs like 200 bucks. The kayak I spent about $1,700 on. I bought it used off Facebook Marketplace. I will put up a total price estimated for everything you see here. I just want to say that you don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money to get out on the water and catch fish. You know, spending money on a nice kayak and nice rods and reels, all that stuff, at the end of the day is not needed to go out and just catch fish. So yeah, this is my setup. I use it a lot. When it comes to this Hobie kayak, the Outback, I absolutely love it. It's super stable. It is safe. I've never gotten close to flipping it. I know my day will come when I will flip it, and then I'll probably start tying my rods and reels down. But until that day comes, I'm just living carefree. But again, you know, I think part of the reason why I haven't flipped yet is because when I go out, I'm watching weather conditions, I'm looking at projected wave height, the timing between the waves, your tidal coefficient, all that stuff comes into play for your safety while you're out on the water. Now, if you're going into a protected marsh, you could probably go out on any day and you'd be fine. If you're going out to the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, you better know what a tidal coefficient is, because you could get swept out real quick. I named it the Red Rocket. I think it's a very fitting name. Laughed to myself for about 5 minutes in the garage after I put the stickers on. If you like these types of videos or you want to see more gear reviews, like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm so grateful to have a platform to share this content with you all. And yeah, let's go catch some fish.